Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be looking at this. This is the Moondrop Stellaris. This was the only planner from Moondrop out at the time. I don't know about some of the newer IMs that are out. I have no idea what they are. I just know the ones that I've reviewed. This was the first planner that I've ever reviewed from them. Nice packaging. You have the chart on the back. Shows the planner design and your specs. So it's good documentation on the box. The box isn't overly, flamboyant. It's got a simple drawing, no coloring, just a sign. Little symbol for Moondrop. Inside, you're going to have these foam tips from them. And you're also going to have these really clear, kind of silicone. They're really plasticky, sticky kind of silicone from Soft Ears, which is, part of Moondrop, or Moondrop is part of Soft Ears, one or the other. So, let's get into the specs. Okay, so this has a 14.5 millimeter planner driver. That's pretty much the norm now. You usually get anything from 14.2 to 14.8 on most of the modern planners. Planners are very popular now. It is a 0.78 2-pin connector. The cable, I'll show you in a minute, is very similar to like the LAN cable. I don't know material-wise if it is, but look-wise it looks like it, other than the circle logo thing, the splitter and everything in the cable being blue instead of, I think it's gray on the LAN. So I took the tips off for now. You can look at the shape of these. 3.5 millimeter ended. I would have liked balanced, or at least balanced as an option, or maybe a modular cable. This runs for about $109, so I think they could have included a modular cable. I have a few $80 that have modular cables, but the cable's decent quality. Sensitivity is 117 decibels. Impedance is 36 ohms. It is planar. It's going to need a little more power to actually sound good. I mean, you can plug any IM into your phone jack and, it's going to work, obviously. It may not get that loud. It may get loud, but it's not being powered properly. So you're going to have a completely different opinion on it. So I would definitely recommend at least a dongle with this, a good dongle. This response is 10 to 50 kilohertz. Effective response is 20 to 20. I mean, that's basically what a person with a healthy set of ears can hear, is 20 to 20. Nobody can hear beyond that unless you were born with puppy ears. So, okay, we're done with the spec-wise. Shape-wise, it's very unique looking. Both sides are completely different graphics. Very beautiful color paint, similar to the Starfield. That purple paint. Some nice graphics. Very interesting shape. I have other IMs that are, the shape, but they usually fit in your ears this way, This one, they fit like this way, so it is unusual. Looking at the nozzle, you can see that is one heck of a nozzle. It is a thick nozzle, and it's a very long nozzle. So comfort on these is going to depend 100% on you, on the tips that you choose. These do have kind of a deep insertion. Didn't really bother me that much coming off of using the Atmodix and other ones with dual flange and everything else. But ultimately, comfort is going to be completely subjective. That said, isolation on these was superb. A lot of the IMs I have lately, they're really good isolation. I mean, even like too much isolation. Sometimes you get that like heartbeat, boom, 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 kind of similar experience to when you have an ANC that has a really strong ANC. So that's one side. And this is the cable, and this is where it terminates into an L-shaped. And the The thing in the middle is blue, where I think it's either white or silver on the LAN. And here's the other side with the comet. Has a comet going on, and this one has what, a sun? Yeah, this one has a sun and a moon. So they're very stunning. I mean, if you're just collecting these, I would definitely say, get yourself a pair of these, because these are really, really beautiful. As for chippage, this is a review pair. This isn't my pair. So these have been passed around, and there's no chips. You can see that kind of mesh at the top there. So I like the cable as stock cables go. It's decent. It's plasticized. It's very, very sturdy. Decent looking cable. It's not braided. It's just it's kind of like a braid on the inside, but it's really not braided or anything. Generous air hooks. The cable is excellent. No microphonics or anything with this cable. Like I said, the only thing with these is they're made like a tank. They have very good isolation, but comfort. Comfort's going to take getting used to. You may get them, you may not be bothered at first, and then maybe after the first hour, it may not be comfortable for you. That said, overall, for me, it was a decent experience. I didn't mind the deep insertion. I'm used to that from the other ones. And the chips seemed to work really good. I did try the foamies. I don't really use foamies that much on most things. But the other chips were actually decent. I like those soft ears. I'm wondering if I can pick some up. So let's get that out of the way. All right. Let's get into my review, which is up on HeadFi. So these are kind of infamous. It's a kind of a love-hate. Some people hate them. People absolutely love them. That's the way. There's going to be no middle with this, because these are very unique in every way. The shape, the insertion, the size of that humongous nozzle there. It's going to be hit or miss with you. So let's get into the sound. Good technicalities here overall. I'll just give that away. There's very good details. There's very good technicalities. It's just very, very, very good in those aspects. Now I'm going to go down to... We already did the packaging. So the base. The base on the Stellaris it's more of a quality base, and it's not to say that the base is missing or light. It is there when it is needed. There's very good detail in the mid base. It still has a kick when called on. The sub bass is elevated. It definitely has some good depth. Not all the time. It depends on what you're listening to, but it has definitely got good depth there. Not a lot of rumble. It doesn't really stick around for long. The decay is extremely fast. That is also on the way it fits in your ear is going to be the way that's going to be presented to you. If you can get a good insertion and a good seal, you'll be all set. Bass overall, good speed, good details, typical kind of planar type thing. Maybe not as bassy as some other planar units though. Mid-range is amazing on this. The mids are clear. They have a very good presence. They have energy. They have both a kind of open and well-textured kind of sound. They are slightly transparent and neutral. There's not a lot of warmth there. They definitely at times can sound toward the thinner side, but they still have very good, clear quality to them. Male and female. The female just a little bit more elevated here, a little bit more brighter. Treble. Here's where we get, to a different thing. The treble here is energetic and bright. There's good details, there's good micro details. Definitely music and warm sources, they'll sound a little bit more toward natural and just overall better. I would definitely suggest a warm source with this, other than a bright one. Unless, of course, you're a treble head, then just go ahead, bright one or whatever. But there's this excellent detailed retrieval and speed in the treble. Good, like I said, micro details here, good details overall. A little smoothing here and there with some frequencies with the treble, but it does have some kind of spikes toward the end. It goes up a little bit, as you saw by the chart. There is some spikiness there at the end, and that will depend on what you're listening to, what you're using to listen to. Really poor recordings and bright sources, yeah, I can see it being harsh at times. It's not all the time. A lot of times you're just getting this really nice treble, and I'm not a big treble head person. I'm more into the bass, but I do like neutral kind of sounding sounds. And, put the foam tips on if the treble is too much for you. I also tried hybrid tips on these, the orange ones with the silicone on the outside and the foam on the inside. You can EQ it, you can change the tips, do different things. I personally don't like EQ, but, to each their own. I'm not judging anybody. Do whatever you want to do to make the sound good. Sometimes we buy things, we don't like them. You can either bring them back, and if you can't bring them back, then you're going to have to change the cable, change the tips, EQ it, do whatever you can to do. Find a better source. If it's bright, find a warmer source. If it's warm, find a brighter source. There's so many different things that you can do to change the sound on these. Soundstage. It has a nice open wide field with good depth and good height. It is far above average. The sound, the field on this. I don't think it reaches that kind of holographic thing. I hate using holographic 3D catchphrases. It's just good soundstage. And what makes a good soundstage isn't necessarily being wide. It's being more toward natural. I like natural fields. Maybe it just extends a little bit beyond the range of the head. This has some nice wide, kind of equal kind of depth, height, and everything is good with this. And definitely details. I don't find it falls apart with busy tracks. It's a nice open soundstage with good details and accuracy. Imaging is spot on, so that's very, very good. So, in a nutshell, this is a kind of unique looking, tuned, made IM. It's a planner. It's toward a little bit more toward the brighter planners. It has a lot of good traits, and it should be noted that this does need power to shine. If you want to get the best out of it, you're going to have to pump some power into it, because it does like power. Being overall just a planner. Planners like power usually. There are a few exceptions with everything, but this one isn't. And I used the Griffin on this, and I used the Quest Style and the periodic neon at times. Mostly it was with the Griffin, because the Griffin seems to pair with this really, really nice. And it did well. It's a very good kind of pleasant, bright IM that was a planner. Is it my favorite IM? Probably not. Looking wise, yeah, I could definitely say look wise this is my favorite. But it is unique, and I did like the details. I just found myself constantly using this, and because it just had really, really good details. And after listening to it for a while, you get used to the the higher treble, and it really did good. So we're going to be reaching the 15-minute mark, and I would highly recommend these. I'll leave a link down below. I'd like to thank Appos for sending out this review unit. Very, very unique. I am glad that I did not miss out on these. Thank you so much for watching. Please be safe, and I will see you in the next video.